What is up, everybody? It's Tony 2.0 here, and welcome back to your favorite rant of the week, Mad as Hell Monday. For those of you that are new to the channel or don't know what this is a weekly segment I do where I see something in the news, something around me that irritates me, pisses me off, gets me going, and we talk it out. Today's topic is going to be the cost of living and basically income. I was reading this story about Elizabeth Warren, who is a senator who brought to the Senate last week about how in America, over the last 60 years, productivity from workers has increased at an exponential rate, while compensation rates have stayed completely flat. You guys may notice if you're in the working force, if you're an older guy like me, everything now costs more. I mean, think about how much gas has gone up over the course of the time that you have been driving. For me, gas was $1.12 a gallon when I started driving. I used to be able to put $10 in my tank and just about fill it up. $5 would get you through a whole entire week. Think about the cost of food. Think about the cost of things like milk. Think about groceries just in general. Think about rent. Think about mortgages. How much that has increased over the last couple decades, and how much pay you have received in compensation for that. What Senator Warren has put out there is that there is a new study that shows that if minimum wage had kept up with productivity, minimum wage should be somewhere near $22 an hour. What she also notes is that if minimum wage had kept up with the middle class the way it had with the top 1% of the earners, it would be somewhere closer to $33 an hour. I'm going to put some stats up on the screen as we talk about this, and we'll try to explain them the best that I can. Basically, it costs more for you to live. Everything costs more, and it always goes up. There's never really a break from that. And I understand that. The essence of the argument that Senator Warren was putting is that the American worker goes to work and does more than they have ever done in the history. If you think back to the 1940s and 50s, what used to happen is people would get married, they'd have kids, the mom would stay home and not work. They'd be, a mother. That was their job. And people could survive off of that. On the screen now, there's going to be a graph here of basically productivity rates versus compensation rates. As you can see, it has never kept up with it. I don't know where you guys live, and I know that places like Oregon and Washington tend to pay their people more in a minimum wage aspect. They're a little bit higher than what the federal government mandates. In Colorado, where I am, minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. If you make minimum wage, you're looking at about $15,000 a year. You take taxes out of that, you're looking at about 11 grand, 12 grand, right in that area. That is not enough for anyone to live on, much less think about people alone that that have kids, they're single mothers, single fathers. That is absolutely crazy. You think about the workforce and people hiring and all of these companies that are producing multi-billion dollars in revenues. No matter how much they say that we are in a recession or that America is struggling, bullshit. I'm going to give you one solid example here. Let's look at how much if you pay insurance. So like me, when my daughter gets here next month, it's going to cost me and my wife something like $320 a month to insure our whole family. Why? We're probably never going to use that. Yeah, maybe with the kid. I've had insurance the whole time that I've been working at my current job, and I've never been to the doctor. Never had to go to the emergency room. Never had to use it, but I pay for it every single fucking month, right? Same thing with car insurance. I never get into accidents. I never have to use that. I still fucking pay it every goddamn month, right? Our premiums continue to go up. The insurance companies continue to pay less and less and less for what they consider their coverage. So operations, medications, things like that. The president of Aetna, of Cigna last year, made $18 million. $18 fucking million. The CEO. You think maybe that's a little excessive? You're charging the shit out of your patients and letting people die on a daily basis because you won't cover shit. But you're going to make $18 million. Why couldn't she take a 50% pay cut? Let's make $9 million in 1 year and maybe cut some of those premiums and cover some more shit, right? It just makes sense. At least to me. My bleeding heart liberalism is shining true in here. American workers work harder and harder every single year and see less and less compensation. With the influx of money that it costs to live, mortgage rates going up, housing markets going up, gas prices, food, everything goes up except for our compensation. There's another study out there that shows if minimum wage is increased to around $10 an hour, which is what was proposed by President Obama by July of 2015, that will affect some 70% of all earners underneath that $60,000 a year income range. That is a huge number of people who honestly need the money. We talk about the poor, we talk about all this recession, and we hear about all these people that get blamed by the banks for making bad purchases on their homes and then going belly up, losing their homes, going through bankruptcy. That's not these people's fault. They were given this opportunity by the banks that wasn't explained very well. The adjustable rate mortgage fucking crisis. Are you kidding? That was the biggest sham and scam in American history. The banks and the government allowed it to happen, knew it was going to, profited billions and billions of dollars out of it, and robbed the American people blind. They knew that all of these mortgages were going to bust. Everybody knew it was going to happen in the banking industry. Instead of anyone having charges pressed against them for this egregious crime to the American people, nope, they were given bonuses, got to actually retire, quit their jobs, move on, kept their jobs, and then the government gave them fucking money for it. You know who needs the money? The middle and low class. We are the heart and soul of America. Without compensation like being able to raise things like minimum wage, this country cannot continue the way that it's going. Too many people are too poor. Where's the poverty line at? Poverty line is at $21,000 an hour. So if something like, I think they say something like 35% of all Americans work for minimum wage or less, or right around that area, you're looking at 30% underneath the poverty line. Our definitions of poverty are different from the rest of the world, but it's a reality. We are accustomed to a higher standard of living in the United States, and it needs to be upheld. We do more at work. We should see more benefits from it. I don't know. What do you guys think? This just irritates me, and I'm happy that I'm happy that Senator Warren actually came out and said this and put it on people's minds. And I'm happy that Obama said, okay, let's at least start it this way. There are studies out there that show increasing minimum wage for a lot of the working class people will not affect profits as much as, honestly, these companies think they will. It's the same thing with Obamacare. You know, they're freaking out about what it's going to cost them. Companies are making fortunes upon fortunes upon fortunes. That's why they keep opening, no matter how much they say they're struggling. It is time for the American worker to see some of that payback. Again, guys, tell me in the comments, what do you guys think about this? As always, guys, I want to leave you with a famous quote around the subject. And today's comes from Andy Stern. The quote goes, "American workers won't be able to compete fairly for jobs until companies have to pay higher wages in countries like China and India." This ties right in with everything that's going on. A lot of the issues that we see as far as minimum wage, cost of living stuff. The reason that it's so bad is that everything's outsourced now. It's only getting worse. Anyways, guys, go ahead and click that like button for me if you like this video. Share it with your friends. Subscribe if you're new around here. And I will see you guys next week. Peace.